Hello, Marauders. Mr. Newell here. Welcome back. It's Monday, May the 4th, and today we're going to do section 5.3. We're just going to do 5.3. Tomorrow we'll do 5.5. We skip 5.4, and then just kind of get a little better. And on Friday, give you a little quiz or test on chapter 5. So trying to keep it as simple and to the basics as possible. So here we go. Okay, so 5.3s, we deal with some of these other rules. And there's this blue page here on 5.3. And we learned about these, sum and difference, but there's also these ones called double angle, power reducing, half angle. I'm just going to have you do the double angle ones instead of just trying to keep track of all these. So we're looking at the double angle. They're also on your sheet. They're right in here because these are some of the most popular ones to use. It says sine of 2 times theta is 2 times the sine of theta cosine theta. And I'm not going to go into the proof right now, but you could change this into this or backwards. Here's one for tangent, and here's one for cosine, and notice it has 3 possibilities. It's kind of like pick your favorite one. Like I say, there's other types of rules in these boxes, but because we're on distance learning, we're not going to be able to get into these other ones. Okay, so here's what's going on. We're going to mostly look at this example 1 in the book. This is example 1. Okay, so this is the one we're going to try. Okay, so they're going to give me a piece of information like sine of theta is 5/13. So they give me a clue, and they say theta is in quadrant 2. This is very important to know what quadrant is. And they're going to ask you to find something like 2 theta. Now you might say, well, I'll just double the answer. No, it doesn't work like that. Don't even think of doing that. That'd be like me thinking of something like this. If I said, oh, okay, zoom in. If I said 60, the sine of 60 is this. So if I wanted like double 60, 120, do you double the answer? No, in fact, the answers start going back down. 60, here's 120. If you double it, it's not double the answer, because remember, you're just going up and down and up and down. So trying to double one of these angles does not double the answer. In fact, the answers are just these little fractions all the time. Okay, so here's what you have to do. It's not that hard to do. The trick is to draw a picture. Sometimes the picture's already there, but you have to draw the picture. So make yourself a little quadrant, your little grid here. It says quadrant 2. So now draw a triangle in quadrant 2, like the butterfly. So think about the wheel, go out from the center, and then always go back to the x-axis, the little corner right there. Make this a little longer, kind of like when we had that little butterfly. So out of the center. So this is quadrant 2. Now, take this information and put it on your triangle. So sine, let's see, sine. Sine is the opposite. Here's my angle. Here's my angle, theta. So sine is the opposite, cover this up, over the hypotenuse. So this must be the opposite and the hypotenuse. So I'm going to go 5/13. And now I get to fill in the triangle. Okay, so what's the missing piece here? I can kind of go, yeah, this is x. And I could do a little Pythagorean theorem here. Like 5 squared plus something squared is 13 squared. I could figure it out. 25 plus x squared is 169. Move him over. X squared is, when I subtract 25, we get 144. And so x is, wait a minute, square root, plus or minus 12. Now, that's important. Don't just put 12. Think about which direction you're going. You're going backwards. Because remember, this is your little unit circle. Over here, x is positive. Over here, x is negative. So for this number, I'm going to put in -12. Okay, so I'll just cross out my little x there. So think about graph paper. Back 12, up 5. So don't put positive 12, otherwise somebody thinks you're over here. So you got a 5, you got a -12, and a 13. In fact, that's a Pythagorean triple, 5, 12, 13. Now, how do I find sine of 2 theta? This is where you're going to grab one of your rules. Okay, they're right here. They're also right here in the book. They're on this page. And if you flip a few pages, you see a bunch more, and there's one right in there. Okay, so it says 2 sine theta cosine theta. So I'm going to write sine of 2 theta, and it says 2 sine theta cosine theta. This is the rule called the double angle rule because it's doubling the angle. So now what you do to find sine of 2 theta, you're going to do this. You write 2 sine of theta, cosine theta. Now you're going to look these up on your drawing. What is the sine of theta? In fact, it's already there. 5 over 13. Here's theta, 5 over 13. So you're going to put this down, 5 over 13. Now, the cosine of theta. You're going to look at your drawing. The cosine is the adjacent over hypotenuse. So I'm going to put negative 12 over 13, the adjacent over hypotenuse. So without the drawing, I couldn't figure this piece out. And that's why the negative is very important. Now, all you do is just multiply these fractions out. Can't cancel. So I'm just going to go 2 times 5 times negative 12. Remember, the 2 is the top. You can pretend there's a 1 on the bottom. 10 times that, negative 120. 13 times 13 is 169. And this is your answer. So you can see it's not this doubled. It's completely different. Okay, and don't forget, you can see this one in the book, example 1, and it goes into the next page. So this is the one I just did. And it also asked me, why don't we do another one? Why don't we do, it also says, could you find the cosine of 2 theta? And I'm like, certainly I could find that. So what do I do to look at this? Well, let's see. Let's pick one of our rules. I'll just use my sheet. I got 3 choices. I could use whichever one I think's the easiest. There's 3 to pick from. I can pick my favorite one. I just picked the first one, but it doesn't matter. I'll just pick the first one. So I'll try that. And so this will be totally like a question I'd have you do on the test. So I'm going to do the one that says cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta. Okay, so this is the one I'm going to use. And what do? I just use my drawing again. Once again, let's look up cosine. Adjacent over hypotenuse, negative 12 over 13. So we'll just do this guy and this guy. There's a minus. And I see negative 12 over 13. Now squared. So we'll square it. Sine 5 over 13. In fact, that's the freebie. And once again, we'll do a little math here. And the negative getting squared actually turns it positive. 12 times 12, 44. 13 times 13, 69. 5 squared is 25, 169. And actually, I can figure this out. 144 minus 25 leaves me with 119 over 169. Ta-da! And that's my answer. And you could do one more. They actually ask you to do, same idea. They ask you to use tangent of 2 theta. And once again, if I do tangent of 2 theta, I just find it on my drawing. There he is. And once again, I fill in all the numbers. I won't go into that one. I'll just put it right up here in the book. And once again, they grabbed all the little fractions, did a bunch of work, and finally get the answer. That's what I want you to be able to do. Yes, there's many more examples and more of the proofs like 5-1 and like could you prove all these different things? Well, let's just keep it to the basics. So for homework, I want you to try 573, 1 to 9 odd. Originally it was like the whole thing, but let's just do 1 to 9 odd only. And you can see it in the book. My book's got some scribbling on. I just grabbed a book off the shelf. What you guys scribbled in our book. So 1, 3, 5. Look at this drawing for number 1. Number 3, look at this drawing. Number 5 says 2 alpha. Oh, here's alpha. So we'll use this drawing. And you finish up the triangle. Somebody wrote 25. And then here's like we just did 7. You get to draw it from scratch, quadrant 2. Number 9, draw from scratch, but quadrant 4. And then just answer these little questions. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm going to show you a picture of the homework. And that's it. Okay? Have fun. Yes, to get credit, take a picture of your homework for credit and submit. If you can't take a picture, for some reason you have an issue, then type in your answers, which isn't that easy, but try to do a picture to get credit.